Have you ever heard a neighbor's child crying and you have to go and stand up by the fence and say, hey, you're killing the child? What's happening? Something happening? Did the child fall? And then you say, no, that is dular cry. You ever hear about dular cry before? You see the child, just a dular cry. There is a dular cry. We're privileged to have Nurse Radhika with us. Nurse Radhika worked her entire life in the pediatric ward. Can you imagine? She's not a biological mother, but can you imagine when she goes home and she's asleep, sometime I'm sure she'll hear the baby crying in her head. Because in a pediatric ward, when you're dealing with babies, what will you hear in that ward? The nurses have to be silent because they don't want to disturb the rest of a baby. The baby's job or duty after birth is to rest and grow, isn't it? I feel that's still my job. I should still be resting and growing. But strange. As we grow into adulthood, we rest and we grow. We don't grow this way, we grow this way. We stop growing up, we start growing to the sides. And so, this ferocious cry could be heard everywhere. And the Devatas, hearing this cry, they became very concerned. What powerful being could be created that we will hear the cry in the heaven? So loud and so potent. And so the Devatas, they marched, they made their way immediately. And where they're going, they know better than to go to Shivalok. They're not going to Shivalok. They're intelligent. What has happened to others could happen to us. What others have suffered, we can suffer too. Did you give thought to that? Every time I go to the cremation site and I put that body in the chitta, just before I do the hawad, I give thought, one day they'll be putting me inside of there. Today I had that experience. Tomorrow I will have that experience. On Monday I'll have that experience. On Tuesday I'll have that experience. Because every day I'm there. The Greek overseer looked at me and she said to me, why don't you build a little hut here? Why don't you come and live here? Why don't we call you the funeral Baba? And you come and you live here. It has happened to them and it could happen to us. But we hear that. We see that all the time. And from that we never learn because we go back to our old crooked evil ways. We never change. We never learn to grow. We never learn to enjoy. We never learn to relax and to breathe. And then we die too. And then we never enjoyed anything. Tonight, the Devatas decided to go to find out what is happening. But they decided to go in a place where they know they will get information. Do you know there are many people, they have friends only to get information? They pick up their phone and they only want information. And they have informers who are so foolish they don't even recognize that they're giving information. Anytime I recognize you're trying to get information from me, I tell you the wrong thing, all the time. All the time I'm telling you the wrong thing. And I mean information in pertainance to people's business or business that doesn't concern you. And I'm not apologizing. I'm going to say that I will continue to do that in the future, so you know. So if you're depending on me to be an informer, well, you're in real trouble. Because I might have you preparing for a war that will never happen. I might have you preparing for something that will never come to life. Just because you're foolish. Teaching you how to MYOB. Have you ever heard that before? Mind your own. The Devatas decide to go in a place where they will get information. And where they're going to, listen, it tells us. Gangadhara Shiva Gangadhara Gangadhara Shiva Gangadhara Gangadhara Shiva Gangadhara Gangadhara Shiva Gangadhara Gauri Priya Shankara Shiva Gauri Priya Shankara O Shiva Hare Gauri Priya Shankara. Sing with me everybody. Shambhu Mahadeva Shiva Shambhu Mahadeva. Sing with me. Shambhu Mahadeva Shiv Shambhu Mahadeva. O Shiva Har Shambhu Mahadeva. O Shiva Har Shambhu Mahadeva. The देवता पूछने करने इसलिए ब्रह्मा लोक का पहुँचने करने वाले, क्यों का वर्णन करने जिसमें का ब्रह्मा की पुत्र सब कुछ का जानते हैं, ते नारद मुनि का स्मरण होते करने वाले, ब्रह्मा की पास को सुरन करने वाले, नित्य का सभी देवों का तारा जुग जुग करने वाले, जुग जुग करने वाले। ओम नमः शिवाय। The devatas, they started to march, they started to make their way to Brahma Lok. And you know why they were going to Brahma Lok? They were going to Brahma Lok because they knew that Lord Brahma had a son whose name was Narad. And once there was confusion and information, Narad will know. Narad will surely be a part of that. And so they knew that if they went to Brahma Lok, if Lord Brahma doesn't know, he will surely be informed by his son Narad. And so they go to Brahma Lok, hoping that Narad has already brought the information to Lord Brahma and he'll be able to liberate them out of their darkness. How would you feel if somebody deems you to be a confusionist? How would you feel? How would you feel if somebody deems you to be a troublemaker? How would you feel? How do you feel if somebody deems you to be a big mouth? They say, we can't tell you because your mouth big, you could tell everybody. Why are you looking at me? I tell some things sometimes, not everything all the time. I tell what I think is hilarious and not life-threatening and maybe a joke to me. There is something that is serious. You'd never hear it out of my lips. Narad Muni, he is deemed to be a person who will know everything. And so they go to Brahma Lok. But when they go to Lord Brahma is just as confused as the Devatas. He's just as confused. And so Lord Brahma, he looks at the Devatas and he says, the cry seems to be coming from the ocean. Then you stay here and I will go and I will see what is happening there. And Lord Brahma, he begins to march. He's making his way to the ocean to find out for himself. Tonight I want to tell you, the Katha is teaching us a very valuable lesson. You want to know something? Find out for yourself. You want to know something? Go to the source. So you'll not receive second-hand and third-hand information. Second-hand and third-hand information comes contaminated with opinions and omissions, and people leave out what they want to leave out and put in what they want to put in, and they do maths with it. They add and subtract and multiply and then by the time you get the information, you get totally wrong information. Everything is wrong about what you heard. Brahmaji decides to go to the ocean. Tonight the anger of Lord Shiva and the cracking of the wave brings about a being who is crying ferociously. Have you ever known that somebody is upset, somebody is angry with you? And you have no idea why? And you call them and you ask them a million times, so you vex? Tell me what you vex for. And they say, but me a vex? Who tell you I vex? I no vex. There is one person who I know is vexed with me. And I took up my phone yesterday and I called him. And I said, I'm calling to wish you a happy anniversary. And he said, anniversary is not my anniversary? I said, well then maybe I said it wrong. Happy Vexiversary. Because it is 1 year now you're vexed with me. Me, I not vex? I am not vex. Who tell you I vex? But 1 year now, you never visit me and I never visit you. And you visited me every single day before that. 1 year now, you never took up your phone and called me, but I've called you numerous times to find out, how are you? And I said, well, maybe I'm saying it wrong. Maybe it is not anniversary, it's vexary. Happy vexary. And he started to laugh. You simply cannot make peace with people who cannot make peace with themselves. You cannot find peace with people who don't want to find peace. And slowly, gradually, I'm now accepting and understanding that. I was of the opinion in the very beginning that everybody will be on the same page and the same way, and everybody will think the same way. But everybody has their own page and their own opinion. And if you don't stand with authority and you don't stand with conviction and say, listen, then everything goes haywire. You have to have some kind of authority. You have to take some kind of charge. If the mother and father doesn't take charge at home, you know what the children will do? They might sell the house and sell you too, and you didn't even know. Lord Brahma makes his way, and making his way there, Lord Brahma sees this child. And this child seeing Lord Brahma, he sees, the child immediately rushes to Lord Brahma and grabs hold of him as though he knows him. Have you ever taken somebody's baby to hold the baby because maybe you think the baby is cute or something else, and all the mother and father tries to take back the child doesn't want to go? Have you ever experienced that before? The child rushes to Lord Brahma and grabs onto him as though he knows him. Have you ever felt as though you know somebody? Somebody you never met before, and you know that you never met that person before. Ari? Ever see somebody and you click, you connect? You didn't know them here, you know. You know where you know them? Was there a last life? Will there be a next life? I always have a problem when people say, when you die, you go to a better place. I'm not very certain that there is a better place. I'm not sure. Well, I never died before, so I don't know. And I'm sure you never died before too, so you didn't know. And maybe if we died, we surely can't remember. But I want to tell you, while you're on the quest to die to go to a better place, let us try to enjoy this place now. Because we don't know what we will meet in the hereafter. We don't know if it is really a better place that the soul will be going to. We don't know. Because when you listen to the descriptions of the Garuda Puran and the other books, it makes you so afraid to even die. It makes you so afraid, and it wakes you up. You're afraid to even wash your hands. And it tries to straighten you up. It tries to guide you into becoming better beings. Tonight, the child grabs hold of Lord Brahma. And grabbing hold of Lord Brahma, what happens? Listen. Om Namah Shivaya. Va Bhagwan Brahma ki karan ka paate karne rehte hai, bin ka kisle ka dhanya ka nichor ka rehte hai, Brahma darya ka uske ka unhone ka saath karne wale, Shankar karne Ram 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 Sita Ram 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 Raja Ram 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 Raja Ram 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 Sita Ram 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 Sham 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 Radhe Sham 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 Ram 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 Raja Ram 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 Raja Ram 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 Bole Ram 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 Bole Ram Ram Shambhole, Shambhole, Ram 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 Bole, Ram 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 Bole, Ram 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 Bole, Ram 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 Bole. Rama Rama Sukha Rama, Rama Rama Dukha Rama, 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 Ram 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 Bole, 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 Ram 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 Bole. Syavar Ramchandra ki jai. We join in expressions of welcome this evening by Ria, and so she is going to do expressions of welcome.
Sitaram, everyone. Welcome to yet another night of this wonderful Shivratri Yagna. We are truly blessed to be here, knowing that God has always provided for us. We have many things to be thankful for, and showing up here, being here is just one way of saying thanks, and being thankful for whatever we have in life is just one form of appreciation that we should always have. Thank you to Pandit for giving us the opportunity, and the members of the Ganesh Utsav Foundation. Please enjoy.
उमापति महादेव की जय, पवन सुत हनुमान की जय, अयोध्या राम लला की जय, वृंदावन कृष्ण चंद्र की जय, पूरे सा जगन्नाथ की जय, बोलो वे सब संतन की जय, सियापति रामचंद्र की जय, शरणम सत्य सनातन धर्म की जय. Let us bow our heads in prayer as we visualize that beautiful form of Bhagwan Shankar this evening with faith, with love and with devotion. O Lord Shiva, once more we come knocking at your door. Listen to our prayer, listen to our petition. Bestow upon us our wishes and our desires. O Lord Shiva, forgive us of our sins. Mentally we prostrate to thee again and again. Om Sri Ganesha Namah, Om Aim Saraswate Namah, Om Sri Guru Charana Kamalebhyo Govinda Namo Namah. Om Viganeshwaraya Varadaya Surapralambhodharaya Sakalaya Jagathitaya Nagasuratyagya Vibhushita Gauri Sutaya Gananath Namo Namaste. Om Pavitra Pavitra Sarvavastam Gatopiva Yasmarit Pundari Kaksha Sabahyam Tara Suche. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. Sarvamangala Mangale Shive Sarvata Satike Sharani Trambake Gauri Narayani Namostute. Rim Batuka Padwadana Kurkvatka Om Namah Shivaya. Rim Batuka Padwadana Kurkvatka Om Namah Shivaya. Rim Batuka Padwadana Kurkvatka Om Namah Shivaya. Om Kararvinde Naprarvindam Karvinde Vinaveshyantam पत्रस्य पत्रस्य फूटेश्यानं बाणमुकुन्दं मनतः स्मरामि ब्रह्मा मुरारी श्रीपुरन्तकारी भानुशशे भूमिसतोवरस्य गुरु शुक्र शनि राहु केतः सर्वे ग्रह शान्तिकारा भवन्तु। ॐ ध्यो शान्ति अन्तरिक्षं शान्ति पृथिवी शान्ति आपा शान्ति ओषधे शान्ति वनस्पतय शान्ति विश्वदेवा शान्ति ब्रह्मा शान्ति सर्वं शान्ति शान्तिरेव शान्ति सामा शान्तिरिति भवतु। ॐ नमः शिवाय उमापति महादेव की जय। मङ्गलं भगवान् विष्णु मङ्गलं गरुडध्वज मङ्गलं पार्वतीनाथाय मङ्गलाय तनु हरि। ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय। दीप ज्योतिर्पर ब्रह्मा दीप ज्योतिर्जनाढर दीपो हरत मे पापं दीपोऽयं प्रतिग्रहीतां शुभं करोतु कल्याणम् आरोग्यं सुखसम्परं मम शत्रुविनाशा दीप ज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते। या देवी सर्वभूतेषु लक्ष्मीरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः। सिद्धि बुद्धि प्रदे देवी भुक्ति मुक्ति प्रदायिनी मंत्रमूर्ति सदा देवी महालक्ष्मी नमोस्तुते। महालक्ष्मी नमोस्तुते महालक्ष्मी नमोस्तुते। ब्रह्ममुरारिसुराचितलिङ्गं निर्मलभाषितशोभितलिङ्गं जन्मजदुःखविनाशनलिङ्गं तत्प्रणमामि सदा शिवलिङ्गम्। देवगणाचित सेवितलिङ्गं बावरभक्तिविवरचरलिङ्गं दिनकरकोटिप्रभाकरलिङ्गं तत्प्रणमामि सदा शिवलिङ्गम्।
ॐ नमः शिवाय 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 ॐ नमः शिवाय।
देवमुनि प्रवराचितलिङ्गं कामदहं करुणाकरलिङ्गं रावणदर्पविनाशनलिङ्गं तत्प्रणमामि सदा शिवलिङ्गम्।
ॐ नमः शिवाय 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 ॐ नमः शिवाय।
सर्वसुगन्धिसुलेपितलिङ्गं बुद्धिविदर्शनकारणलिङ्गं सिद्धसुरासुरवारितलिङ्गं तत्प्रणमामि सदा शिवलिङ्गम्।
ॐ नमः शिवाय 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 ॐ नमः शिवाय।
कनकमहामणिभूषितलिङ्गं पनपतिवेशितशोभितलिङ्गं तक्षसुयज्ञविनाशनलिङ्गं तत्प्रणमामि सदा शिवलिङ्गम्।
ॐ नमः शिवाय, 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 ॐ नमः शिवाय।
To that God Shiva, who has blessed us with the gift of clothing, we offer clothing to thee. May you be pleased with us. Om Veda Suktam Samayuktam Yagyashama Samanvite Sarve Prade Deva Vasise Pratigretam Sarvabhushati Lomya Lakjani Varana Mayupakar Vasram Upavasram Pratigretam. We adorn the murtis with Yagyopavite Janeyu. May you wrap your protective shield around us, we your children. Om Trembakam Yajamai Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandana Prityor Mukshamamritat Ina Parivaro Raja Dan Mahabala Ina Twambaranami Rakshatu Surusreshtam Rakshatu Pratigretam Samvasara Shivaya Yagyopavitadanam Samarpayami Yagyopavitadanam Pratigretam. Just as when we are dressed and we wear nice clothing, we like to smell good and adorn our bodies. After clothing the devatas, we offer chandan and perfume. May you be pleased with us, adorations at thy feet now and forevermore. Om Sri Kanda Chandanam Dipyam Gandharyo Sumanohara Vilepanam Surasreshtam Chandanam Pratigretam Kasturi Tilakangalat Patale Vakchaste Kaustubhyam Sri Chandanam Maham Karikshe Chandanam Pratigretam Chandanam Samarpayami. Om Sambasara Shivaya. Kum Kum Chandan Lipitalingam Pankajaha Manasobhitalingam Sanchita Papa Vinashanalingam Tatpranamami Sada Shivalingam.
Om Namah Shivaya, 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 Om Namah Shivaya.
Gandadwara Duradarsham Nitya Pushpakari Shrim Ishwaram Tamaho Sri Gandadanam Samarpyami Vanuspatir Suravuto Gandaryo Gandarutama Agre Sarvarivanam Dhupoyam Pratigretam. We offer Hardi as an act of purification. We offer Sindur praying for Mukti, salvation. At that time when that may come, may you be pleased with us, we beg of you. Om Kumkumam Kantim Dibya Kamani Kamart Sambhava Kumkumam Malchitam Deva Prasiddha Purushottama Haridraya Sarvaso Bhagirani Sarvalankar Muktami Devi Tvam Pratigretam Sindhuram Shobhanam Rakta Sobhagi Priyavardhanam Kamaram Moksharam Jaiva Sindhuram Pratigretam Sindhuram Samarpayami. Devaganachit Sevitalingam Bhavadabhakti Vivarcharaningam Dinakara Koti Prabhakaraningam Tatpranamami Sada Shivalingam.
Om Namah Shivaya, 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 Om Namah Shivaya.
We offer strands of Dukras. May you away all our troubles, all our problems, all distresses. As we have rooted this grass to pray to you, Bhagwan Shankar, may you be pleased with us, we beg of you. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. Varnanam Artha Sanganam Rasanam Chandrasamapi Mangalanam Chakaritaro Vande Vani Vinayako Bhavani Shankaro Vande Shraddha Vishwaswarupino Yabhyam Vinana Pashante Siddha Swantastamishwaram Dhurbadanam Samarpyami. We offer Belvalis. To the medium of these knees, we offer our lives at your feet. May you ever be in control of our existence, we beg of you. Listen to our prayer. Om Namah Shivaya. Kasi Vasi Sivasinim Kala Bhairo Pujatam Koti Kanya Mahadanam Belapatra Shivarpanam Belapatra Shivarpanam Mamastu. We offer names. To the medium of these knees, we offer all bitterness, all sickness, all distresses, all negative energies. And so through these leaves, may you be gracious unto us, we beg of thee. Om Namah Shivaya, Sambasara Shivaya, Nima Patram Samarpayami. Om Ambe Ambike Ambalike Namanyati Kastana Sasrabhadrakama Pil Sabhadrakama Pila Vasini Jayanti Kali Mangala Kali Bhadrakali Kapalini Durga Kshama Shiva Tatri Swaha Swadha Namosute. Aim Haim Krim Chamundaye Viche Namah. Aim Haim Krim Chamundaye Viche Namah. Aim Haim Krim Chamundaye Viche Namah. We offer beautiful flowers. Om Mallityarini Sugandhini Mallityarini Vai Prabhu Mayatani Pujatam Pushpani Pratigretam, with adorned murtis with malas, etc. As we pray the Lord Shiva. Om Namah Shivaya. Ashtidale Pariveshitalingam Sarvasumara Bhavakaranalingam Ashtidaredra Vinashanalingam Tat Pranamami Sada Shivalingam.
Om Namah Shivaya, 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 Om Namah Shivaya.
Yani kani japapani jammantarkritani chartani tani prachana prachana prare prare deepam darshyami deepam samarpyami. Om mayaskaracha mayo bhavacha chandrasekaracha nageswaracha cha rameswaracha shivattaracha. Om Namah Shivaya. 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 Samvasara Shivaya Deepadanam Samarpyami. Om Tat Purushaya Vidme Mahadevaya Dhime Tanno Rudra Prachodayat Tanno Deva Prachodayat. Om Namah Shivaya. Naivedyam Sure Guru Sure Vare Pujitalingam Sure Vare Pushpasadachithalingam Parat Param Paramatmakalingam Tat Pranamami Sada Shivalingam.
Om Namah Shivaya, 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 Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Brahmarpanam Brahmave Brahmagano Brahmanahutam Brahmagatina Gantavyam Brahmakarma Samadhinam Krithavakvam Havishanam Pai Shasharkarananam Sunevedam Vishnurve Pratigretam Sambasara Shivaya Nevedam Nivedyami Nevedam Samarpyami. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Brahmarpanam Mamastu Sri Krishna Arpanam. Om Namah Shivaya. 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 Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya, 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 Om Namah Shivaya.
We offer supari, we offer clove. For scriptures teaches us it is indigestion. O Lord Shiva, may you be pleased with us. Adorations in thy faith now and forevermore. Om Pungi Palamya Deva Nagamridala Yuktai Lalachunatam Tampulam Pratigretam. We offer something to drink. Panchamritmya Datta Grihana Purushottamam Panchamritmya Datta Grihana Parameshwara. Om Ganga Jamuna Godavari Saraswati Narmada Sindhu Kaveri Achvanam Vidyoga Achvanam Samarpayami. We offer Dakshina to that God who has blessed us with wealth. We offer wealth in our puja. May you in return bless us with the greatest wealth, the wealth of good health and long life. We pray to you, may you water away untimely death from in our pathway. May you bestow upon us long life free of problems and sickness and distresses. O Lord Shiva, listen to our prayer. हिरण्यागर्भसमर्थिताग्रे भूतस्य जाता पत्रिकयासि सराधारं पृथिवीं न दक्षिणादानं मम कर्क्षे शुक्ल महारौद्रे महाशक्ते महोदरे मा पापहरे देवी महालक्ष्मी नमोस्तुते. We decorate as beautiful as we can with the flowers. नागीन्द्रहाराय त्रिलोचनाय भस्मांगराकाय महेश्वराय नित्याय शुद्धाय दिगंबराय तस्मै मकाराय नमः शिवाय. ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, हरि ओम नमः शिवाय.
ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय. बोलो नमः शिवाय.
ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, हरि ओम नमः शिवाय.
ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय. बोलो नमः शिवाय.
मंदाकिनी सलिल चंदन चरिचिता नंदीश्वरं प्रमथनाथ महेश्वराय मंदार पुष्प बहुपुष्प सपूजिता तस्मै मकारा नमः शिवाय. तस्मै मकाराय, तस्मै मकाराय, तस्मै मकाराय नमः शिवाय. ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, हरि ओम नमः शिवाय.
ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय. बोलो नमः शिवाय.
शिवाय गौरी वरुणाय वृंदा सूर्याय दक्षा स्वरनाशिकाय श्रीनीलकंठाय विशद्वजाय तस्मै श्रीकाराय, तस्मै श्रीकाराय, तस्मै श्रीकाराय नमः शिवाय. ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, हरि ओम नमः शिवाय. बोलो
ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय. बोलो नमः शिवाय.
वशिष्ठ कुंभो भवगौतमाय मुनीन्द्रदेवाच्युतशेखराय चन्द्राकरेशलोचनटाय तस्मै वकाराय, तस्मै वकाराय, तस्मै वकाराय नमः शिवाय. ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, हरि ओम नमः शिवाय. बोलो
ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय. बोलो नमः शिवाय.
यक्ष स्वरूपाय चत्ताधराय पिनकाहस्ताय सनातनाय दिव्याय देवाय दिगंबराय तस्मै यकाराय, तस्मै यकाराय, तस्मै यकाराय नमः शिवाय. शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय. बोलो नमः शिवाय. बोलो
ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय. बोलो नमः शिवाय.
ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, हरि ओम नमः शिवाय.
ओम नमः
लिंगष्टकं सन्निधो शिवलोकनमाकृति शिवेन समूढते त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव वन्दनात् वन्दे देवोमापतिं सुरगुरुं वन्दे जगत्कारणं वन्दे पन्नगभूषणं मृगमरा वन्दे पशूनापतिं वन्दे सूरसुशाङ्करागमेनं वन्दे मुकुन्दप्रियं वन्दे भक्तजनाधर कपिधर वन्दे शिवाशङ्करं तत्पुरुषाय विद्महे महादेवाय तन्नो रुद्रः प्रचोदयात्। गुरु ब्रह्मा गुरु विष्णु गुरु देवो महेश्वर गुरु साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः। विस्ते प्रेम प्रतीके विनय करे सन्मान तेके कार्य सकल शुभ सिद्धि करे हनुमान। ओम नमः शिवाय 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 ओम नमः शिवाय। बोलो ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय। Clap your hands with me, everybody. Let's clap our hands as we sing the name of Lord Shiva. Let's pray to Him for devotion this evening.
Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya,
Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. Bolo.
Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya.
Amba Bhavani Jagadamba Bhavani,
Amma Bhavani Jagadamba Bhavani,
Amba Bhavani Jagadamba Bhavani,
Amma Bhavani Jagadamba Bhavani,
Amba Bhavani Jagadambe Ma,
Amma Bhavani Jagadambe Ma,
Amba Bhavani Jagadambe Ma,
Amma Bhavani Jagadambe Ma,
Amba Bhavani Jagadamba Bhavani.
Amma Bhavani Jagadamba Bhavani.
हंसाय विद्महे परमहंसाडिनी तन्नो हंसा प्रचोदयात्। या कुन्ने तुषारहार धवलाया सुप्रवस्रविता या वीणा वरदण्डमण्डलकरा या श्वेत परमासना या ब्रह्मच्युतार शंकरा प्रविद्वे देवेशरा वन्दिता सा मां पातु सरस्वती भगवती निशेषजाड्यापहम्। Adorations at thy feet, O Mother Goddess Saraswati, listen to our prayer. And so may you sharpen our intellects to receive the message that will be delivered out of our scripture this evening. Let us clap our hands. Let us glorify the Divine Mother Goddess, Devi Mata. Amba Bhavani Jagadamba Bhavani,
Amma Bhavani Jagadamba Bhavani,
Amba Bhavani Jagadamba Bhavani,
Amma Bhavani Jagadamba Bhavani,
Amba Bhavani Jagadambe Ma,
Amma Bhavani Jagadambe Ma,
Amba Bhavani Jagadambe Ma,
Amma Bhavani Jagadambe Ma,
Durga Bhavani Jagadambe Ma,
Durga Bhavani Jagadambe Ma,
Durga Bhavani Jagadambe Ma,
Durga Bhavani Jagadambe Ma,
Bolo Kali Bhavani Jagadambe Ma,
Kali Bhavani Jagadambe Ma,
Bolo Kali Bhavani Jagadambe Ma,
Bolo Kali Bhavani Jagadambe Ma,
Amba Bhavani Jagadamba Bhavani,
Amma Bhavani Jagadamba Bhavani,
Amba Bhavani Jagadamba Bhavani,
Amma Bhavani Jagadamba Bhavani,
Amba Bhavani Jagadambe Ma,
Amma Bhavani Jagadambe Ma,
Amba Bhavani Jagadambe Ma,
Amma Bhavani Jagadambe Ma,
Shada Bhavani Jagadambe Ma,
Shada
Shada Bhavani Jagadambe Ma.
Shada Bhavani Jagadambe Ma.
O Vidya Bhavani Jagadambe Ma. O Vidya Bhavani Jagadambe Ma. Amba Bhavani Jagadamba Bhavani.
Amba Bhavani Jagadamba Bhavani.
Amba Bhavani Jagadamba Bhavani.
Amba Bhavani Jagadamba Bhavani.
Amba Bhavani Jagadambe Ma.
Amba Bhavani Jagadambe Ma.
Amba Bhavani Jagadambe Ma.
Amba Bhavani Jagadambe Ma.
Amba Amba Jai Jagadamba.
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 Amba Amba
Ambe 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 Devi Ma. Ambe 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 Shakti Ma. Ambe 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 Shada Ma. Amba Amba Jai Jagadamba. 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 Amba Amba Jai Jagadamba Mata ki. Umapati Mahadev ki. Jai Jagadamba. Amba Amba Jai Jagadamba. Amba 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 Jai Jagadamba.
Amba Amba Jai Jagadamba.
Amba Amba Jai Jagadamba.
Amba Amba Jai Jagadamba.
I want to take this opportunity on behalf of all members of the Ganesh Utsav Foundation to welcome all of you this evening once more to this, our final evening of Yagna. Tomorrow evening we will celebrate Mahashivratri. To the ordinary mind they might say, well then how are you doing 4 evenings of Yagna? We did not do 4 evenings of Yagna. We did 5 evenings of Yagna. The first evening was in Palmi Spa, where we did the installation of our lingam and our murtis. And so our 5th night will be tomorrow night, ending or bringing a close to the Yagna. But tonight is our 3rd night of reading from the Shiva Mahapuran. This evening, wherever you are, we say welcome to you. To our kind and our corporate sponsors, we express sentiments of gratitude and expressions of thanks. To all of our hardworking, loving, diligent, caring, compassionate members of the group who are out in Palmy's Park at this time, I want you to give yourselves a round of applause. And this evening, I want to say a special welcome to you. For you have practiced something that our group stands for, selflessness. And so this evening to you, I want to say commendations and blessings to you and to members of your family. This evening there is a very special lady sitting in a recliner all the way in Orlando, and she's looking on at us. She's sitting in a recliner that her husband sat in previously to listen to the katha. It's the most senior members of the Seetahal family. My uncle recently passed in December, and so my aunt, she's sitting there in her recliner. My uncle sat with a box of tissue, and when we started to sing, whatever we will sing, he will sit and he will cry. Now, my aunt sits with a box of tissue, and she remembers how he used to cry, and she's crying. And so my cousin called me earlier today and he said, you didn't even mention her a single night. She'll be so happy if you call her name. Auntie Savi, this evening we pray special blessings to you. May the grace of Lord Shiva be upon you now and always. To all of those who are at home may be sick and whatever your situation may be, this evening out of our Yagyashala we send our love to you. This evening we're privileged to have the most senior members of the group with us, the Malus, and this evening we want to say thank you for coming. Many are called and few are chosen. Never be on the called list, always be on the chosen list. So once you're on the chosen list, you'll always be called. This evening, on the first night we listened to Lord Indra having a desire to go to see Lord Shiva. Lord Indra went to the Guru Brihaspati and the Guru Brihaspati accompanied Lord Indra. Lord Shiva knew he was coming, and so Lord Shiva took a disguise. And taking this disguise, he sat in the pathway blocking the way of Indra. Indra unable to go, Indra very arrogantly and egoistically spoke to Lord Shiva, not recognizing it was Lord Shiva. And so when Lord Shiva refused to answer the questions of Indra, Indradev became upset. And so Indradev took his weapon and he was about to charge it towards Lord Shiva. But Lord Shiva, using his power, he is Jagat Pita, the father of the entire creation. And so using his power, he froze the arm of Lord Indra. And so Lord Indra, unable to put his arm down, the Guru recognized that Lord Shiva will do something that will be destructive because he is the god of destruction. And so the Guru, doing damage control as it were, waited until Lord Shiva closed his eyes. He bowed to the feet of Lord Shiva quickly and turned the head of Lord Shiva in the direction of the Samundar, the ocean. When Lord Shiva opens his eyes, the beam of anger that comes out of the eye of Lord Shiva meets with the cracking of a wave. And so out of that union of the anger of Lord Shiva and this wave, a being, a Kritya is born. The Kritya begins to cry ferociously. The description is given ferociously. And so crying ferociously, this cry could be heard in the heavens, on the earth, and in the nether region. The Devatas rush to Lord Brahma because they know Lord Brahma is an informer, somebody who tells him everything. And going to Lord Brahma, "Oh Lord Brahma, what is this being? What is this creature crying?" And Lord Brahma is unable to tell. And unable to tell, Lord Brahma says, "Well, I will investigate. And then I will bring back information for you." As Lord Brahma goes, Lord Brahma meets with a little child. The child grabs on to Lord Brahma but holds him by the neck. And squeezing him so tight, tears begin to roll out of the eyes of Brahma. Lord Brahma is being choked by the little child. And just then, Narad Muni, the celestial sage, he appears. And so Narayan, Narad Muni says, "Let us give a name to this child. Jalandhar," meaning the one who caused tears to come from the eye of his father. And so giving him the name Jalandhar, Narad started to check to see what the lifespan of the child will be and what the future of the child will be. Tonight I want to tell you, don't waste too much time thinking about what your future will be, for your future may never come. Enjoy today as though it is your last. Actually, I don't have to tell you that. On our way here, we almost did not reach here tonight because everybody is enjoying as though it is their last. Isn't it strange? The temples and the churches and the mosques across the country, they're shut. And they can only be open for 1 hour and under restrictions to pray to God. But tonight you could wine and jam. And you could fat and take off your mask and you could drink. Drink to your heart's content. And you could wine on the white line in the road. Nobody cares. And then you could go and rent a pen. And renting a pen, you can go there and wine and have a good time. And I'm not sure if every pen has a toilet, because then you will all leave your pens to go to the toilet, use the same toilet, use the same tap, use the same everything, and then go back to your pen, carrying the COVID, and everybody dead after that, and nobody cares. But the party is important, the party is priority, the party has taken precedence over God, prayers, temple, church, mosque, and God has to be suppressed all the time. Religion has to be suppressed all the time. Scripture has to be shelved all the time, and nobody stands up for anything once it is righteous. Nobody found it fit to write a letter to our intelligent Prime Minister to say that Mahashivratri is a night dedicated to Lord Shiva. 1 hour and 20 minutes is not enough time to pray. We need to pray for the whole night. But then the temple has a rule. Only an hour, only 40 minutes, only 20 minutes, but wine and jam whole night. And then we have people who are in authority. We have people who are in charge. We have people who profess to be the upholders of religion and scripture. And then nobody says anything. And then when I say something or somebody else says something, everybody's upset because nobody is supposed to speak. Nobody is supposed to have a voice. Nobody is supposed to share their concern and express their anger for being prevented from praying. In a time when the world, our country, our families need prayer. In a time when there is trouble, when there is war happening in other countries of the world. In a time when families have lost their hope and their balance and their focus. They have lost their loved ones, their mothers and their fathers and their brothers and their sisters and their children. And nobody stands up and say, well, Shivratri is a night for 1 hour. We could only go for 1 hour. And nobody cares. The beach is open. You can go there any time of the day and any time of the night. But the temple is closed. And we are fine with that. We're all happy with that. Nobody has anything to say about that. Because you know why? The minute you talk, you're considered to be an outcast. Well, I want to be an outcast when it comes to me talking about my God and my religion. Because my God and my religion belong to me. It is a part of who I am. It is not my culture. It is not my tradition. It is my way of life. And as a Sanatanist Hindu, Hinduism is not religion. And Hinduism is not culture. But Hinduism is our very existence and our very way of life. And I'm sorry for speaking in this tone, but I just had to get that out of my system. This being, as the story, as the epic is being narrated by Narad Muni, Narad says he'll be a great king. What makes you a great king? Being a great king means that you treat everybody equally. All of a sudden, in the time coming up to Carnival, the COVID numbers went down. Strange, huh? Strange, very, very strange. And then after Carnival, chances are you never know. All of a sudden you stop hearing anybody died with COVID, and COVID just went away. It disappeared. It disappeared for this week, and maybe this month, and maybe from next month a new variant will come from the sky. And you know what? We are programmed to accept anything. Anything. We are programmed to accept that. Our mothers and our fathers go into the hospital and they're sick. And imagine, in 2022, there is no connectivity where you can connect with your loved one in the hospital because the phone rings and there is no service. Nobody has fixed that. But we spent millions of dollars on a thing called Carnival in the middle of COVID, when everybody could die, even me too. Because there are some people who will go and wine and jam and then have the puja right after. And they say, well, we was fasting, we just went. It so coincidentally happened that Mahashivratri fall, but we did done by the ticket. So, we didn't know, we didn't really check to see. Think to check and see, nobody sees, Think to know, nobody knows. And the minute you tell, they say, where you get up on that from? Do invite he. Next time you invite he, tell me I ain't coming. He's buff up people for wearing urni, and buff up people for talking in the prayers, and buff up people for chunking the pot. And all of those things will take you to hell. And the Pandit tried to save you from all of those things that will take you to Narak. And you vex with the man. So he had no way in talking. Where we go eat? Curry pot. You know you're having a prayers. Why don't you 2 hours in advance start cooking the food? Why will you wait until the Pandit come to chunky the pot? Well, I want to tell you, It is a mahapap, it is a great sin to chunky the pot while the puja is going on. That is not my opinion. That is scriptural. For just when the chunky is chunky and it causes discomfort to all the beings around, the devatas flee from the puja. They run away from that place because you have disrespected them. That's why long ago they said to you, do not have the puja under the house. It is not that under the house is not part of the house. It is not that you don't live there. But it's because some people have no respect, not even for God and not even for prayers. And while the puja is happening downstairs, chances are they'll be walking upstairs, dhap, dhap, dhap. They'll be sweeping upstairs. And long ago had the board floor. All the dust will fall downstairs, on the parsad, on the bedi, on the pandit. And what if it's me, I'm in real trouble? Because the dust will stifle me and kill me. And everything is very logical. But everybody say, why? Why? Why we have to do this? Why? When Sintra and I were growing up, and Aju and Aji said to us, don't sweep after 6. Sintra will say, why? When Aju and Aji will tell us, don't sit on the step. It is not a good thing to do. She say, why? Don't sit there, especially when you are eating. Move from the step. And Sintra will say, why? Not me. Because I was always the one to get the licks. So I never had an opinion. They tell me move, I gone. I'm not even asking why. I'm not entertaining, and I'll get the licks for me and for them. Everybody wants to know why. Why? We have to wear a mask and sit 6 feet away from each other. But everybody in a pen, whining and jamming, and no mask. They're plain masks. Strange. And we have accepted that. In the time of Mahashivratri, we have accepted that. And then we say, Robbie said that they say you will take the holy book in the places where you have the casino and where you have the bar and where you have, that's where they will take the holy book. But that is the place that needs the purification. That is the place that God needs to go. To deter the mind of those who have no God consciousness in them. And to remind them that there is a God. And that's why the book has to go. That's the reason why. When you make a plan and I make a plan and everybody has an opinion, God has a way of teaching us a lesson. And in everything there is a lesson. But then what does this have to do with the Shiv Puran and the Katha? It has everything to do with that. Tonight I want to tell you, our scripture has declared that fight for your dharma and your dharma will protect you. We must not be cowards. We must stand up and fight. Fight the fight of standing for that which is righteous. Bhagwan Krishna says in Gita, Yada yada hi dharmasya granir bhavati bharata abhyutanam dharmasya tadatmanam svajamyaham paritranaya sadhunam vinasaya duskritam dharma sanstarpanataya sambhavani yuge yuge. Whenever there is a decline in dharma, and there is an uprising in unrighteousness, I will manifest myself to protect those who have protected dharma and who have stood for righteousness. What will we say? I did afraid to talk, and God still blessed me now. I did afraid to talk. I did afraid to do, and not because I was afraid everybody would have vexed with me. Well, I have news to you. They vexed with you already. You didn't even have to do something. Tonight, Narad Muni tells Lord Brahma, you better put down this child and run from here. And Brahma Ji wonders, how will I get rid of the child? Narad takes the child and Lord Brahma disappears. And Narad, to tangle the mind of the child, he gives the child his instrument. And the child begins to string the instrument, and then a sage comes. Can you remember the name of the sage? Brigu. Sage Brigu comes, he is upset. Why is he upset? He just tried to enter Indralok and he was refused. And so because of this now he went and he stood there next to Jalandhar. He is saying, Jalandhar, have you heard about all the other demons who were destroyed? And so he's making trouble. And Jalandhar says, no. And he says, well, didn't you hear about Rahu? And he gives the epic of Rahu. He says, didn't you hear about Hiranyakashipu? And he gives the epic of Hiranyakashipu. And both of them, they were destroyed by Lord Vishnu. And then the foolish Jalandhar is asking, he says, so who destroyed them? You just heard who they were destroyed by. And you are asking, who destroyed them? And then he says, well, Indra destroyed them. It is Indra who created the trouble. Because Brigu is upset with Indra. And so, because he's upset with Lord Indra, he wants everybody to be upset with Lord Indra. We live in a world where if you don't like this man, I shouldn't like him because you don't like him. And if you don't like this lady, I shouldn't talk to her because you are vexed with her. And if you don't like that boy, because maybe he's a little too thin. And if you don't like this girl, maybe because her hair a little too curly. Or maybe you don't like that lady because she's pin up she sari from the back in the front. And everything is a criticism and a fault and something to bring about anger. And you try to spread that anger like how you spread butter on the bread. You try to spread it. So you have a problem with the pundit, everybody should have a problem with the pundit. Do you know, I was saying to the president of the UV Hindu Society a few nights ago, I said, do you know as a pundit how difficult it is for me to remember everybody's name? To know everybody by their name and to know how you have to address them, because there are some people you have to address. There are some people, if you didn't call their name, you know what happened? You never see them in the next prayers again. And everybody is unique and different, and everybody, some get vexed, some get happy, some disappear, some appear, some reappear. And you have to know now how to be neutral. You have to know when you go by Jenny, what Jenny like in her puja. You have to know when you go by Auntie Angie, she like cut paper in the puja. And everybody likes something different. And you have to embrace that and fit in. You have to know when you go by Papa Mallu, he wants to hear the verses of the Satyanarayan Katha. He wants that brings joy to his heart. You ain't bound to do nothing else, just read that. And you have to know how to make everybody happy. But in making everybody happy all the time, how happy are you? How happy do you end up? You're concerned about everybody. Who is concerned about you? Tonight, the Devatas are given an instruction to go to Dronagiri Parvat for Raksha, for protection. Because they know that now Jalandhar will come to Indralok. But when they go, Jalandhar has been given an instruction to sink the mountain in the ocean. Do you know there are some people, they will try to sink a mountain in the ocean just to make you look bad? Just to make sure that you are unhappy? Just to make sure that you never reach to your goals and just to make sure that nobody could see your potential and your ambition? Do you know that? We are all Trinidadians, you all know that. Shake your head up and down. Don't shake your head any other how, because that's the truth. He has sunk the mountain. And so the Devatas, there is no mountain. What will they do? Tonight, the Devatas, there is no mountain for them to be shielded by. So the Devatas, they are going. Where they going? They're going in a place for protection. They know all of this kind of started with Lord Shiva, and they know that Lord Shiva is not in a so good mood. So where will they go? They just went to Brahmalok. Now where will they go? Narayana, Narayana, Jai Govinda Hare. Narayana, Sri Narayana, Jai Gopal Hare. ज्ञाननं संशलाकया चक्षुरं मिलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः। या देवी सर्वभूतेषु शारदारूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः। देवता गण का विष्णु लोक के पास पहुँचने करने वाले, समझे का उन्होंने का 7 करोड़ का रहते करने वाले, उन्होंने का देवों का दया पूर्वक सुन करने वाले, पृथ्वी वा का दीनु करने ही देख और करने लिए गया होते। भगवान विष्णु ने अपने का महालक्ष्मी का बेटे करने वाले, जनन के समय का विराज का वर्णे करने हैं। मन का लक्ष्मी ने भगवान विष्णु की कहा में चलते हुनों का मुझके अपने का उपकार करने वाले, उपकार करने वाले हैं। नारायण नारायण जय गोविंद हरे, नारायण श्री नारायण जय गोपाल हरे। Sing with me everybody. नारायण नारायण जय गोविंद हरे, नारायण श्री नारायण जय गोपाल हरे। Quietly. The devatas make their way to Vishnu Lok quietly. They don't want anybody to know where they're going. Have you ever quietly done something because you don't want anybody to know? Tonight I want to tell you something that you already know, that anytime you try to do something quietly so that you'll not be caught, you will be caught. Have you ever tried to tiptoe at home? Have you ever tried to close a door easy, not to wake up the other people asleep? Have you ever bounced your toe in the dark, hoping not to put on the light to disturb the rest of the other people who are resting? And after you frustrate yourself and get dressed in the dark and you don't even know if you put on your clothes the right side or the wrong side, and you're about to leave, they say, so you go in. And in your mind you say, but I thought you're sleeping and I'm tiptoeing here and no, but trouble. And tonight, they have quietly made their way to Vishnu Lok because they don't want anybody to know. But there is somebody who knows. Narad Muni, the celestial sage, he has already indicated to the sage Bhrigu that they are making their way to Vishnu Lok. So, as the devatas stood there, Bhagavan Vishnu listened very patiently to what all the other devatas had to say. And as the epic was narrated to Bhagavan Vishnu, patiently listening, Lord Vishnu then agreed, I will go. I will go and I will meet with Jalandhar and I will see how I can bring some kind of resolve. What I can do to get rid of this demon. The demon was already started to create havoc. He has already sunken. He has already now in his mind formulated hate towards Indra, the king of the heavens. And so it is only a matter of time before everything escalates. And so Bhagavan Vishnu is saying, I'm going now. I'm not going to wait. And so as Bhagavan Vishnu, he has given his word to the devatas, he will go. Lord Vishnu now decides, I must seek the permission of Mother Lakshmi. Husband, your wife is not a police. Your wife is not your boss. Your wife is not your mother. Your wife is not a security guard. But when you got married, you made vows to your wife. And you said to her, if ever the wife said to you on the day of the marriage, but you were so in love now, you didn't listen too good to what was being said. You were so, with the little festivities and the excitement of the wedding, you really didn't listen to the vow. The wife said in one of the conditions that if ever you have to leave home to go abroad on business or pleasure, I must have the assurance that the welfare of the home is well secured. And so my prior consent must be given. It must be obtained. And if possible, I should be allowed to accompany you wherever you are going. Whatever you are attending or going to, I should be allowed to go. Another one of the vows says that I do not want you to speak harshly, angrily, or disrespectfully to me in the company of friends or family or even foe. One of the vows says that. The vow says that you should not leave home to go abroad or anywhere on business or pleasure without consulting your wife. And so Bhagavan Vishnu is doing this. He is not going to leave without having a proper discussion with Mother Lakshmi. And as he goes And he sits with Mother Lakshmi. He says, Devi, I'm going down Odia to meet with this demon, Jalandhar. And so, I want you to give me permission. And so Mother Lakshmi says, you're going to meet Jalandhar, but I want you to do me a favor. Have you ever indicated to somebody that you're going somewhere? And they say, well, as you're done going, do me a favor now. You say, I'm going to pay my bill. And they say, well, pay mine for me now one time. Or you say, I'm going to the grocery. And they say, well, you'll bring something for me too now. Let me tell you what I want. And they give you a list with 100 things on it. And you say, but I was going to just pick up one thing. They say, well, just pick up one of these things for me now. Mother Lakshmi, she says, I want you to do me a favor. You're going. I'm happy that you're going. But do me this favor. And listen to what she's asking. जलंधर में भाई नौकत कर करने ही देखो और मातृका हो करने वाले भगवान विष्णु ब्रह्मित का बीत करने वाले वह अपने का बीत किस लिए का उसके का पूछने उसने का पूछने नारायण नारायण जय गोविंद हरे नारायण श्री नारायण जय गोपाल हरे
नारायण नारायण जय गोविंद हरे नारायण श्री नारायण जय गोपाल हरे.
Mother Lakshmi says, when you go and you meet with Jalandhar, I want you to do me a favor. Don't destroy him. And Lord Vishnu says, why? He is creating havoc and he will create havoc because it is the nature of a demon to create havoc. Then why should I not destroy him if a need arises to? And then Mother Lakshmi says, well, because he's my brother. He's my brother. Don't destroy him. And Lord Vishnu says, your brother? Somebody ever introduced their brother or their sister to you and you say, that is your brother? How he is so different to you? Or somebody, they heard that you're related to some family and they say, but how she's so boy? And the family is so nice. And how she's so? She like Lankini? Only creating havoc. How is he so? He comes from a good family. How is he so? Mother Lakshmi is saying, Jalandhar is my brother. And Bhagavan Vishnu says, how? How? Mother Lakshmi says, both of us, we manifested out of the ocean. And so both of us coming out of the ocean, that makes us brothers. Do you know long ago, your cousins were just like your brothers and your sisters? Well, in 2022, your cousin is your competition. Do you know? Your cousins, they're your competition. They're no longer your brothers and sisters. It's a big competition in the family. Whose children could have more education and whose children could have more this and whose children could have more that. And it's a pity is not whose children could be more respectful. And it's a pity is not whose children who could be more loving. And it's a pity is not whose children could be more compassionate and more charitable. It's a pity. Because we live in a world where everybody has plenty certificates to prove that they are highly educated and have no common sense to save their own life. Thank God for YouTube and the different that you could Google and you could thank God. One of my friends, I've been saying weeks now, come visit me, come. No, it have COVID. No, it have COVID, I can't come. And then every day on Facebook, I'm seeing this beach, the next thing, this hike, that trek, the next thing. And I'm seeing 1 million people on Facebook liking it and 1 million people on Facebook on the trip too. And I say, oh, well, this morning actually, I got up and I said, I now understand. Everybody in the Ganesh Utsav Foundation has COVID, so you can't come press. You can't come to the puja. And the Pandit has a little dog, so you can't come. The dog will bite you. show me your friends and I'll tell you. Keep the company of those who appreciate you all the time, not sometimes. Keep the company of those who will help you all the time, not sometimes. Not only in your good day, or not only in your bad day, but all the time. Keep the company of those who, when you see them calling, you feel happy and you feel joyful to answer the phone. Not you say, oh God, what he calling for, boy? What's she calling for? Mother Lakshmi says, that's my brother. And Bhagwan Vishnu says, how? And Mother Lakshmi says, well, we both originated out of the ocean. And so Bhagwan Vishnu gives his promise that he wouldn't destroy Jalandhar. He says, but Devi, I might discipline him. I might discipline him, not destroy him. 2 words starting with D. Discipline and destroy. Tonight, those 2 words are words with a mountain of meaning. With mountains of meaning. Discipline and destroy. Tonight I want to tell you with no apology that with the right kind of discipline, all the negative qualities will be destroyed. In the day when I grew up, in the day when you grew up, in the day when the adults grew up, adults, doesn't mean you're old, eh? We were disciplined in such a way that any time we entertain the thought, automatically we will destroy it before we even act it, because we know what will come after. True or not? Before you even say what you're thinking, you bite your tongue because you know chances are you might not have a tongue after you say it. True or not? This man is 40 something. This man's father, let's say he's 70 something. This man has children of his own, a wife of his own. He works for his own money. He lives in his own home, away from his father. But this man can't lose the key to his brain to disrespect his father. Because discipline has already destroyed even the thought of disrespect towards his father. Is that true or not? This lady, her mother is visiting from Canada. In her own home, this lady has to tiptoe. In her own home, this lady has to say, Ma, what we cooking today? In our own home, this lady, and I'm not asking you, I'm telling you. In our own home, this lady has to say, Ma, we're going to the prayers and we will come back. So you close up the door and you stay inside and nobody is coming, Ma. You stay inside and you look at the puja on the TV. She doesn't have to tell her mother, well, Ma, I go in. Her mother lives in Canada and she lives in Trinidad. But discipline has already been instilled in her, and so respect has to be given, because disrespect has already been destroyed because of the upbringing that she got. Is that true or not? You're in prayers, don't lie, talk the truth. But then a mother will spend her whole life and nurture her children, and a daughter-in-law will come from nowhere and not know the sacrifice of a mother. And then the daughter-in-law will slam the door on the mother-in-law and say, you stay outside. And the mother-in-law say, well, all right, I'll go stay here. Not if I was the mother-in-law. Because I would remind you, how about the door? I would remind you where you get a husband from, and I would remind you where you come from, and I would send you back to get some discipline that will destroy your ego. And sometimes, actually, all the time, every time you try to maintain discipline, you're deemed to be disrespectful. Do you know that? every time you try to maintain discipline, you're deemed to be disrespectful. You hear how he talked to me? He talked to me like we is real little children. And he buffed me up. What has happened to that man? I'm talking about me, huh? I'm not talking about anybody else. I'm talking about me. And he don't know. I older than he. And he don't know. And he don't know. But it have plenty things you don't know. So while you worrying about what I don't know, I have recognized already it have plenty things you don't know. Because if you had discipline, it would have destroyed the situations that will create that kind of behavior and that kind of response. Bhagwan Vishnu says, I will not destroy him, but I might discipline him. We could talk about discipline all night tonight. But now that we have a good idea, Bhagwan Vishnu, he appears. And so, as he appears, what will happen? Bhagwan Vishnu is greeted. How will a godlike person greet you when you meet them? How will a godlike person greet you when you meet them? Let me ask you. You're having a party at home. And of all the days, the Pandit decides to show up that day. How will you greet him? You say, hey, Baba, but you could have called me. But how you come today? And you greet him, but you don't know how. Because you feel guilty. You feel as though you know it will be disrespect to the Baba. Isn't it? But once the Pandit comes to your home, whether what the situation is, it is your duty to go and bow to the feet of the Pandit. Whether what the situation and whether what the circumstances are that leads his arrival to your home, you must go and you must show that respect. You must bow. And if you are not bowing physically, then you put your hand together and you bow. I want to tell in our way of life, in the Sanatanist Hindu way, it tells us that there are functions that we go to and you're not privileged or you're not allowed to bow. For instance, it says that when you go to the cremation or the burial ground, you don't bow to the feet of anybody there. Instead, you put your hand together and you bow your head in humility. So that's just for information. It tells us, it says Bhagwan Vishnu is greeted by the demon. How will a demon greet you? Do you know there are some friends, they address each other, hey dog, how you going? Have you ever heard that before? One day one of my friends addressed me, say, somebody was asking him, he said, you know Pandit? And he said, yeah, Pandit is my real horse. And I turn around and I'm looking, I say, where the horse? Why are you calling me a horse? Hope that I don't call you some kind of animal in return. I am not anybody's horse. You are not anybody's horse. You're not anybody's dog. Nobody should address you like that. You should not allow that kind of disrespect. Because that kind of disrespect turns into culture. It turns into a way of life. And then after the good morals and the good values are lost, there is nothing you can do to bring back the good culture. Do you know that? So when anybody call you anything other than your name or Mr. or Mrs. or Shri and Srimati, turn around and who are you calling? Couldn't be me. Bhagwan Vishnu is greeted. And the demon greets Bhagwan Vishnu with fight, with war. He just sees Lord Vishnu and he begins to fight Lord Vishnu. Do you know there are some people you have done nothing to them and they just want to fight you? They just can't stand your success and your growth and development, and they can't tolerate it. So you become a burden because of that. You see, Lystra could cut the hair real good. And Lystra learned that it have a shampoo called shampoo dye. And you could rub that shampoo with the dye in it in your hair and leave it for 10 minutes and all your gray will get black. You know about that? You see, you didn't meet Lystra yet. That's how good she is. And you know who is Lystra? Dan Paul's wife. And when you wash out the shampoo, the hair is black. You don't know about that? Well, you will talk to Lystra. You see how you like her already? You like her already because now you know Lystra has the remedy for something that you want to hide. Tonight we like the people who has the remedy for the things we want to hide. And we don't like the people who will talk about the things that will make us feel shame and the qualities that we have in us that will bring about destruction and disturbance. We don't like the people who talk about those things. We like about the people who will sweep everything under the carpet and say, oh, good Popo, you're over nice. Kuchi, you're real nice. Eh? You like them. But the one who say, hey, you're wrong. You should apologize. The one who says, hey, you're a schemer. Stop scheming people. The one who say, hey, you're a crook. You're behaving like a real fraudster. When you tarnish your name and you tarnish your character, when there is really a situation, then nobody will help you. Everybody will run away from you. You say, me ain't talking to she again. Now, if you hear what she tell me, and all she told you was the truth, you know. All they said to you was the truth. But you ever hear the truth? The truth what? Hearing the truth, it what? Offends you. The truth always? You never hear that before? Oh, Pandit Sunil telling you tonight. The truth always offends. And so, Bhagwan Vishnu is greeted to fight. And being greeted to fight, listen, it tells us. Keshava Madhava Jaya Deva Madhu Sundana.
Keshava Madhava Jaya Deva Madhu Sundana.
के युग रहते करने वाले शान करेंगे भगवान विष्णु उसके का भेद करने वाले मैं पूर्णे का सृष्टि का पलंग करते हैं उन्होंने का मुझसे क्रोध की वर्णन करने वाले मांगो में का दूसरे करने वाले दूर करने वाले देखो दर्शन दीजे केशवा माधवा जय देवा मधुसूदना
केशवा माधवा जय देवा मधुसूदना
केशवा माधवा जय देवा मधुसूदना केशवा माधवा जय देवा मधुसूदना केशवा माधवा जय देवा मधुसूदना
केशवा माधवा जय देवा मधुसूदना.
Bhagwan Vishnu was very impressed with the moves and the ability to fight by Jalandhar because Jalandhar was a child. He was very impressed. You and I, we become very impressed when we see the skills of the little children. True or not? You clap your hand and there is no music and you tell the child, whine, whine. And the child whining and you say, oh God, look how nice she is whining. And then when the child grows up a little bit and goes out in the public and begins to dance, you have to bend your head in shame. Because you say, oh, we don't behave so home. But that is what you encouraged. That is what you instilled into the child. You look at the little child and you say, cuss him. Tell him, cuss him. And then when the child go out in the public and you say, you go in the toy store and you say, you can't get that. And the child start to rattle like a parrot. You bend your head and you say, whose child is that? Wait, somebody lost their child. Whose child is this? But you created that. Because you supported that. You were very impressed the first time you heard that. You were very impressed the first time you saw that. So when it escalates and it becomes into a real production and a real show, real time, in real life, then you can't bend your head in shame. Because when the time for discipline came, you did not destroy that negative behavior. So now deal with it. Because you have created your own problem by yourself. Baba, my son only on the phone and some little girl he talking to, an exam coming. Your son didn't find a phone in the sky. You buy that phone for him. You gave them the phone. You didn't destroy that thought in your son's mind by saying, well, you're going to school, you don't need a phone now. And the son's so smart, he said, man, need it for school because you know he's online and I have to go online on my phone because you know the internet home don't work good. But the phone have a package, it has worked real good. And you never research nothing. He tell you it working real good. You say, well, we go buy two. I go buy one and all. We go get a deal. Well, when you get a deal, you have to take what is being dealt out to you. Because that is what you have accepted. Not every deal is a good deal. Always remember that. Not every deal that is polished to look good is a good deal. You all know that? Have you ever heard cheap thing no good? Every cheap thing on a deal. You all know that? And the good thing no deal. But you so think you will get plenty. You get plenty inferior. When you buy one good thing, it will last you your whole lifetime, you know. You know? Long ago you used to buy one pot. Remember that? One pot at a time. You'll buy one pot. And that pot will last your mother, you, your daughter, your daughter's daughter, and your great-granddaughter. Their whole lifetime it will remain in the family. But then you see a pot set with 20 pot on sale, and you say, that pot says this, for the price of one, again, plenty. You put it on the stove and you know what happened? Food burn, pot burn, everything burn, and you have to throw away everything. Pot, food, everything. Cheapness. You think it is free and you think you're getting a deal. Not every deal is a deal. You all know that? But I want to tell you, there is a grocery I go to and I buy everything 20 for 20. I think it's a good deal. I buy and I go, especially when I know there is the deal. And I don't tell anybody I'm going because I don't want them to see, you know, plenty for 20. I'm buying everything, plenty for 20. Chances are when I come home, I'll have to give the neighbor and share it so that, you know, because it's really plenty for 20, you know. But to me, that's a good deal. Sometimes not all the deals are good deals. And so, Bhagwan Vishnu is very impressed. And so Bhagwan Vishnu enjoying the fight. Because you know why? How hard a little child will hit. How hard? When the children are small, you tell the child, slap him now. And when the child slap him, you say, oh God, good child, you listen to me. And when you get big, the same child slap you down and you say, I learned to slap from you. Take slap. Bhagwan Vishnu is enjoying the fight. And while fighting, Lord Vishnu begins to talk. He says, do you know who I am? I am the sustainer of the entire creation. My name is Vishnu. And I am the consort of Mother Lakshmi. And Mother Lakshmi told me that you are her brother. Brother? Who is that? I have no sister. I was born alone and I have no sister. You know much brothers forget that they have sisters? Father dead and they want to be chief inheritor of everything, so they disown everybody. They disown everybody. They disown sister, niece and nephew. And time to look after mother and father and change the pampers and thing. It had no brother and thing, you know. But when the time come to inherit, everybody show up. And the people who do all the work, They had to go on the back shelf because you know why? Well, the son had to do the funeral and he had to walk around the box and his name had to be on the death certificate because you know the man and them had to do the running now. The man had to do the running. And the man so smart, he glad his name gone on that thing, the death certificate, because he say, catch them. My name on the death certificate, I go in and I say the bank account is mine. Look, I bury the man. And I do everything. And you outsmart everybody and take everything. You know much people home on the television watching and saying, yeah, that's true? You know much people saying that's true? But I want to tell you, the ones who think they're smart and think that they will outsmart everybody, they will get outsmarted in the end. And easy come is not easy come, easy go, you know. It's easy come, easier go. Easier go, because anything you have to work for, you can't appreciate it. It goes, it disappears. Tonight, Bhagwan Vishnu says, Jalandhar, why fight with me? Stop for a minute, stop. Stop for a minute. Ask me for anything you want and I'll give it to you. Don't fight me. I don't want to fight with you. Jalandhar says, well, grant me access to Indralok and the heavens. I want to go. And Bhagwan Vishnu says, well, go. Mother Lakshmi hears that her brother is coming. Mother Lakshmi begins to prepare for the arrival of Jalandhar because she is happy. Ever having a guest and you're busy preparing and everybody else vexed with you? You say, oh God, will you invite she for? Will you invite he for? How long they come in for? Where they go stay? Whole night them to snore. It have a thing you could put under the door so we wouldn't hear them. And when they go in the bathroom, they sweat up the whole place. And he just used 6 towels for the day. We ain't gonna have none. And he's eat out all the food when he go by the pot. And you're excited to welcome the guests and you're frustrated at the same time because while you are happy, everybody else is unhappy and now you have to please the guests and you have to please everybody and you're in a predicament. And you can't say no. We can't make everybody happy all the time. So, Bhagwan Vishnu says, Eva must do, so shall it be. Go to the heavens. Jalandhar immediately makes his way to the heavens. And Bhagwan Vishnu, while Lakshmi Devi is preparing for Jalandhar to come, Bhagwan Vishnu is going somewhere else. He is not going in the abode of Vishnu Lok. He is going to Shiva Lok. Because he is frightened to know when Jalandhar goes to the heaven, what he will do. You ever had a member of the family that when you take them, they use no discretion? If they go to the buffet, they take up all the food. And they bring it by the table and they start putting it in their bag. You know anybody like that? I want to tell you something. Don't twist your face and laugh, you know. Because every one of us, we are guilty of that, even me. Because anywhere you go and something tasting good, you have a unique habit. You didn't eat the one that you get good. You say, give me one to carry now. Huh? You go to the hotel and you're staying for breakfast. And you know you're going on a trip after or you're out for the day. And you butter up some bread and you put it in your bag for later. And you forget to wrap it good and you know what happened? Butter melt and melt up in everything in your bag. When you put on your t-shirt, it's saying blue band. Cream cheese. Because you think you're so smart now. Bhagwan Vishnu goes to Shiva Lok. And going to Shiva Lok, what will happen? He bows to the feet of Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva is waiting for Bhagwan Vishnu to come. Lord Vishnu, seeing Lord Shiva, he recognizes immediately. But Lord Shiva, what is he looking like again? He's not looking like Lord Shiva. He has taken the disguise of a sadhu. And Lord Shiva is in this disguise of a sadhu. And so as Lord Vishnu sees him, Lord Vishnu bows to the feet of Lord Shiva. जूते जन्म गवाया साधु झूठे जन्म गवाया साधु, झूठे जन्म गवाया, झूठे जन्म गवाया साधु, झूठे जन्म गवाया साधु, झूठे जन्म गवाया। एक पिता के हम सब रर के, डरती हमारी माता। एक पिता के हम सब रर के, डरती हमारी माता। कुटुम कबीरा संगन जाए। Says Bhagwan Vishnu bows to the feet of Lord Shiva and he says we're all equal, but I made a vow to Lakshmi Devi that I can't destroy Jalandhar. So you know what happened? You will have to go. You didn't make a vow to anybody. You go. Go to the puja. Baba, I can't touch, because me a fast. But my wife, she's a sadhu. She don't eat nothing and English. She go help you. Anything you want, she go help you. You know it having a puja. You know you're going to a puja, and then you going to tell the Baba of all the people, well, me a fast. How does that look? We did not discipline our mind to destroy the craving of the stomach. So then you know what? The stomach say, I feel to eat, and you say, well, look boy, eat. The minute the body hears fast, the mind begins to crave for everything curry and stew and foot and footless and swimmingless and flying and hopping and dropping and tail and tailless and the mind is not disciplined enough to destroy the thought. So you know what happened? Baba, me can make to fast now? What is the shortest time I could fast? Short fast, short blessing. Short fast, whatever you give is what you will get. However you sacrifice is how you will get. Bhagwan Shiva, he says, I will go. But this time, Jalandhar already has it in his mind that anybody comes in front of him, he greets them in a particular way. Because that attitude of fighting was not destroyed. So he is not disciplined enough to know that not everybody approaches him, they want to fight with him. You and I, we must be disciplined enough to know that not everybody who approaches us, they're not our friend. To know that everybody who approaches us, they don't have our best interests at heart. To know that not everybody who comes to us and they cry, they're not genuinely crying. Because they're crying fake tears. We have to be disciplined enough to know this. And so, Bhagwan Shankar, he goes and he appears in front of Jalandhar. And as he appears in front of Jalandhar, Jalandhar is accustomed to greeting everybody with fight. Jalandhar immediately makes a fist and he gives Lord Shiva one blow. And as Lord Shiva gets the blow, Lord Shiva stands up kind of confused. Somebody ever say you say something that you never hear in your whole life and you never even entertain the thought of saying? And when you hear you say, you stand up and you say, but wait now, when I say that, boy? Somebody ever blame you for doing something that you never entertained the thought of doing, and then when you hear, well, it's you who do it, you say, well, wait now, when I do that? On our Facebook page, the president called me one day. She said, did you make a post on the Facebook page? Why did you post that? Why don't you take it off? That is inappropriate content. And I say, me? I didn't even go on Facebook. I don't even have time. It wasn't me. She said, well, it is under your name and you post it. And I am trembling and sweating because I know I didn't even open my phone or pick up my phone for the day. And I say, no. Who else has access to this? It can't be me. Then it has to be the next person. And then when we call the next person say, yeah, well, it's me. I say, well, thank you, God. I said, can you take it down? She said, no, well, I post it, but you got to take it down because it posts under your name. How did you post something under my name when it wasn't me? Do you know much people do things under your name when it is not you? And people fall victim and they're vulnerable thinking that it is you they're doing a favor. And they're being conned and deceived and disrespected for no good reason at all. Tonight I want to tell you something. The Ganesh Utsav Foundation has embarked on building a temple. Up on the screen, you will see that there is pictures of the construction, and you will see that there are numbers to call, and you will see everything else. But do you know every single donation that comes in the name of temple building is recorded and accounted for? When we specifically said that any donation has to come must go to the president or the pundit. Not anybody else, the president or the pundit. Because you know why? That is to make sure that whatever you give goes towards the cause that you are giving it for. And the reason why I've chosen us to be the recipients of that is because I want to tell you, we are disciplined enough to destroy the thought of using what you have given for anything other than what you have given it for. We are strong, not weak. And we know that genuinely we need this for the construction of the temple. So whatever you are giving, we are strong enough and disciplined enough to know that this is what we have to do with it. And when you give, generations before you and generations after you receive the merits out of what you give. So when you give with a good heart. Give with pure thinking. And the blessings will come multiplied, I promise you. Tonight, Lord Shiva, he's attacked. But Lord Shiva didn't make no vow, no promise to anybody. And so immediately, you know what happens? Dum, 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 Shankar pragata dekar rupa sadhu rupa Vishnu loka देहि जलंधर देकर क्रोधित देहि बलंकर साधु विष्णु लोक देका हीन देकर शक्ति रूपा और जलंधर ना कर देहि अतिका क्रोध विनता देहि मेरा क्रोध पहुँचे नहीं तेरा उसका साधु हो मर देना करता कोशिश दे कर कीनी पल का सो पर फिर का दे काम क्रोध मत लोभ दे कर साधु तीरता दे कर ऊपर आकर दे कर भी कर दे दर्शन शबाती कर दे दम 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 dum 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 dum. Immediately the Trishul of Lord Shiva begins to shake. And as the Trishul begins to shake, the Damaru that is attached to the Trishul begins to sound. For the Trishul is attached, the Damaru is attached to the Trishul. And as the Trishul moves from side to side, the Damaru begins to shake. And so as the Damaru begins to shake, it is shaking in the sound. Dum 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 dum. Have you ever heard those sounds before? Have you ever heard those sounds before? Tonight I want you to take your two hands. Take your two hands and touch it to your chest. Feel your heart beating. Feel your heart beating. Dum 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 dum. It is the Damaru of Lord Shiva. Bum 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 bola bum 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 bola bum 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 bola bum 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 bola. And so Lord Shiva, anger comes to him again. His eyes become red out of anger. And so as Lord Shiva's eyes become red out of anger, Lord Vishnu disappears. He doesn't want to see what is happening, because he made a vow to his, your word is your word. Always remember that. Your word is your word. Whatever your words are, you must stand by your words. In the Ramayana, Dasarath Ji says, when Dasarath Ji was approached by the other queens and the other beings, why did you make a pronouncement like that Ram will go into the forest? Why don't you withdraw those words? Dasarath says, when I was in trouble, Kekai, she performed an act, a noble act. And I promised her that time when she helped me, that whatever she asked me for, I will give to her. And now Kekai has asked, and I must give it to her. And Dasarath says, in the Ramayana, in Goswami Tulsidas she writes, he says, Dasarath says, Raghukulariti sada chaliyaye prana na jaye varu vachana na jaye. It is better for me to lose my life, but I must stand by my word. The promise, the vow that I have made, I must stand by this. And in the process, if I lose my life, then so be it. But my word is my word. The king is saying, my word is my word. And so, Lord Shiva's eyes become red. The very same red that created Jalandhar is the very same red, the very same energy that Lord Shiva gazes at Jalandhar with, and Jalandhar melts into nothingness. The same beam that created him is the same beam that destroys him. It is the same God that created us. It's the same God that we will die and go back to. Have you given thought to that? It is the same place that we came from. It is the same place we will go back to. But it is only determined by the karma, the actions that you perform while you're alive. I began by asking the question, what is more important? Possession or self? Have you done the research? Ari, what is more important? Possession or self? What do you value more? What is worth more? Sharon, what is worth more? Possession or self? Sintra, what is worth more? Possession or self? Self? Jagannath, self? Everybody say self? Everybody say self? When you in prayers, don't lie. When you in yagna, don't lie. You must talk the truth. Always talk the truth. We live in a materialistic world. I've sung this a million times. Maya toot gani hum jaane, Maya toot gani hum jaane, Maya toot gani hum jaane, Maya toot gani hum jaane. The Maya pulls you. The eye want. Everything the eye see, the eye want. Huh? You go to the expo and you see the sari, Angela, and you say, oh God, that over nice, I'll wait for the Shiv Puran. And when you put it on, it's like it has courage inside it. Because it looked good. But you know what happened? It didn't make you feel good. Because the beat took in you up. Everything comes with a price, you know. You know that? Everything comes with a price. Even glamour comes with a price. Because anybody or anything that is glamorous, there is somebody ready to choke them and try to pull them down and say all the bad things. Tonight, what is more important, self or possession? If somebody hit you, you get vexed? If I take my hand and I make a fist and I give you one blow, a day after you put on the braces, right in your, how will you react? How will you react? So you bought a brand new van. Let's just say you bought a brand new van. A Porsche. A Porsche, real Porsche. And I take my little Tida and I reverse into it. Bam! Mash up all the lights and thing in the back. What will you say? What will you say? How will you react? Ash, how will you react? You say, hey Baba, you're blind? You know how much of that? You know how much Tida we had to sell to buy back that one light? Baba, go somewhere and check your eye. You better get a bucket and some sandpaper and fix it now, you know. Because if my mother see this, she gasket go blow. Baba, this van new. We first day we driving it and you mash up the light. And you know what Ashif will say? He said, if you did hit me, I would not feel how I'm feeling. But you hit the car and watch how I'm feeling. True or not? Better you did hit me than you hit the car. True or not? Is that true or not? Somebody? No. Possession doesn't only mean a car. The children. A few months ago, Ari, well, if you know Ari, you will know Ari. Ari, in movie town, a man ice cream fall down. And in front of the door. And Ari observed the man. Of all the people to see Ari seeing this, and soon after, a lady skid on the ice cream. And the man whose ice cream fell, he left it right there and went inside to buy a next one. And Ari opened the door and she said, hey, you threw down your ice cream, come pick it up. Somebody will break their foot. And Ari's father stand up behind Ari like a badger. Because you know why? Possession. If that man loses the key to his brain to tell Ari something, the owner will react. True or not? That's an example, right? The owner is already ready to react. What is more important, self or possession? Because the child is a possession. What is more important, self or possession? Because you're going to get involved in something that does not concern you. Because she didn't plan with you. I'm going and tell him, my daddy, and if he come, you go deal with him for me, right? She didn't say that. She jumped up and she said, I go deal with him myself. And you know the poor man had to come out and clean the ice cream, right? Because you know that's how she is. The right thing is always the right thing, and the wrong thing will always be the wrong thing. And she has already been disciplined, so she knows how to destroy the thought of entertaining the wrong behavior from herself and from those around. She has already been disciplined. Tonight, what is more important, self or possession? We feel the pain when somebody causes hurt or damage to the things that we possess. And we value possession more than we value ourselves. But I want to tell you tonight that the Maharaj Shiv Puran is saying that while the things and the possession around you, they're important to make you happy and comfortable, value self above everything else. Because at the end, when all is said and all is done, possession remains behind and self stands in front of Bhagwan to give an accountability for the kind of life that would have been lived. So while making preparation to acquire possession, make provisions to acquire for self. And when I say self, I mean soul. I mean Atma. Because Atma will stand in front of Paramatma. And the only possession that Atma is taking is the possession that we have prepared. Not by things that are physical, but by things that are spiritual. Make sense? So tonight I want to tell you, which one is more important? Self or possession. Self above all. In the aircraft, the air hostess says, in the event that the oxygen level drops, mask will fall from the compartment above you. Ensure to put on your mask first before trying to assist anybody around you. Because you know why? Chances are you help everybody, and you know what happened to you? Jaya bhi akela, you're dead. So see about self first before you see about anybody else. Have you ever heard that memo on the plane? When you get on the plane, they say to reinforce what you already know, because we know you fly frequently. Please pay attention and listen to the instructions. I don't know about you, I sleep through that. So if it really having an emergency, well, Jaya bhi akela. I know about the mask thing, I know about the flotation device, I know the seat could be used as a flotation device, I know that the life vest is under the seat, I know the life vest have a light, and I know it have a whistle. I know that. And I know that will save my body. But I know Om Namah Shivaya will save my soul. I know Jai Hare Krishna will save my soul. I know Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Jai Ram will save my soul. I know that. So I know what might be able to save my body, but I know what might be able to save my soul. You do not put on a life jacket unless you need it. True or not? Would you put on a life jacket and walk around? And model life jacket in style? Would you do that? Well, tonight, I want you to put on bhakti and walk around every moment of your life. Tune your mind, tune your lips, tune your heart, tune your existence to chant. Ram 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 Bolo Ram 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 Sita Ram Ram Ram. So that when the trouble comes, you know what happened? Ram 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 Sita Ram. When happiness comes, Ram 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 Sita Ram Ram Ram. When trials and tribulations come, Ram 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 Sita Ram Ram Ram. When situations unfold that you have no control over and you can't help yourself, Ram 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 Sita Ram. God will take charge. Do you know something that is a joke? Let me tell you something that is a joke. When Swami sits in the car, somehow every day Sasi has a unique way of calling when we're in the car. And I will turn the phone to Swami so she will see him. And from the time Sasi sees Swami, from the time she sees him, with no fail, it could be in the morning, it could be in the night, it could be any time, it could be anywhere, it could be wherever it is. Sasi says, Narayan, 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 Narayan. Immediately she says, Narayan, Narayan. And I said to Swami, I said, Swami, do you know chances are, if you had her deathbed when she's about to die, and she sees you and Narayan comes to her mind, do you know she'll get mukti, salvation? While it sounds like a joke, it becomes the ticket, not just the ticket, the first class fast pass ticket that will take you straight to Swarga. And that joke becomes a part of life. That joke becomes a part of life. And then in a critical moment, you'll remember that joke, and that joke will help you to get mukti, salvation. And the day, just perchance, she doesn't say Narayan, Narayan. I say, Sasi, you forget something. And she say, what? I say, Narayan, Narayan. And she will say, Narayan, Narayan. Tonight, tune your mind all the time. Ram, 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 Sita, Ram, Ram, Ram.
Ram, 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 Sita, Ram, Ram, Ram.
Ashish alone will go to the fire. Om Namah Shivaya, ignite the flame in the fire. Om Bhurva Swadhyani Swadhonagmi Avahyami Stapyami Pujyamscha Sragni Devtasrami Hagakshe Hatrishta Sankalpam Namastu. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. Sprinkle the water on the fire. Papuham Papakarmam Papatmam Bundrikaksha Sarva Papa Haro Hari Punatu Punatu Ajvanam Samarpyami Vishve Bhyu Deve Bhyu Namaha. We place the flowers. Bhurva Swadhyani Shwadbhanagni Avahyami Stapyami Pujamsta. We drip the pieces of wood. Om Bhurva Swatat Saviturvarinam Bhargo Devasya Dhimidyoyana Prachoryat Swaha Idam Gatri Idam Namama. Om Bhurva Swatat Saviturvarinam Bhargo Devasya Dhimidyoyana Prachoryat Swaha Idam Gatri Idam Namama. Om Bhurva Swatat Saviturvarinam Bhargo Devasya Dhimidyoyana Prachoryat Swaha Idam Gatri Idam Namama. We offer the ghee. Om Prajapataye Namah Swaha. Om Indra Namah Swaha. Om Kam Ganapataye Namah Swaha. Om Namaschandika Namah Swaha. Om Sambasara Shiva Namah Swaha. Om Suryadinogra Devta Namah Swaha. Om Kalasvarun Devta Namah Swaha. Om Sarvebhyo Devebhyo Namah Swaha. Om Sarvebhyo Brahmanebhyo Namah Swaha. Om Trambakam Yajami Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukameva Bandhana Prityor Mokshamamrita Swaha. We offer the water. Papoham Papakarmam Papatum Pundrikaksha Sarva Papa Haro Hari Punatu Punatu Sri Vishnavi Nama Sri Vishnavi Nama Sri Vishnavi Nama. We find the smoke in all directions. Om Vanaspatira Surabhuto Gandaryo Ganaduttamagre Sarvadevanam Dhupoyam Pratigraitam Dhupoyam Agrapyami. We bow to the fire. Analanamaha Analanamaha Analanamaha. Tonight, on behalf of our President and all members of the Ganesh Utsav Foundation, I wish to express my sincerest gratitude and appreciation to all members of the group for their invaluable contribution and support. And so, this evening, on her behalf and on behalf of our Vice President and all members of the executive and the board of the group, we want to say thank you to all of you. We want to remind all members and we want to remind the viewing public that the Ganesh Utsav Foundation has embarked on that major project of consecrating the mandir, the temple. And so we can only do this with your help and with your support. And so we are depending on your help and we are depending on your support. And so when you give, a little goes a long way. And so together we can do this. I said to our treasurer, I said with the hope and the wishes and the blessings of Lord Shiva, next year we must have Mahashivratri in our new temple. And so we must have Shivratri Day. I want you all to give a clap to that idea. Because what you throw out into the universe is what the universe throws back out to us. And so it is our wish, it is our desire, it is our hope that we will have that mandir consecrated. This is a reminder to you that we are consecrating 108 lingams in the temple. And if you perchance want to contribute towards a temple or a lingam, or you want to join with members of your family, or however you want to do it, then contact our president or contact myself. You can contact us on our Facebook page or on our Facebook page as well. And Ria will be able to talk with you and to give more information. So this evening, I want to say thank you to all of you. To those in your homes, I want to say thank you for allowing us into your home for the past 3 evenings. And so may the peace and the blessings of Lord Shiva be upon you and your family. This evening also, I want to remind you that tomorrow evening we'll be live. We'll be live from 6 o'clock in the evening till 6 o'clock Tuesday morning. 6 o'clock in the evening to 6 o'clock Tuesday morning. We will be observing all the Prahar Pujas and all of the rituals as prescribed according to scripture. We have had the privilege this year of joining with the UV Hindu Society, and the president and the vice president, they're here this evening. And so we look forward to having them tomorrow evening and with the other members of their group also to join with us as we propitiate worship to Bhagwan Shankar. This evening, in your homes, wherever you are, get your ingredients, get your belva leaves, get your milk, get your dahi, get your honey, get your sugarcane juice. You can go up on our Facebook page and you will see that the ingredients that we will use for the Prahar Puja will be posted there. And so you can gather those ingredients, and for every Prahar, we will pay the lingam, offering those different oblations. For those are the things that make Lord Shiva happy. Tomorrow evening, we will listen to the many kathas. Tomorrow evening, while we perform Puja here, Puja will be performed in Palmis Park as well by other members of the group. And so they'll be following on their big screen as they're doing tonight. And so we want to say thank you to our technical support for making this provision this evening. And so they will be following from here. They will be following. You know, members of the Ganesh Utsav Foundation, they're well trained. And they know what is expected, and they know what will make me happy. And they know by doing what they're taught, Bhagwan God will be happy with them. They have been taught that there is a time to pray and there is a time to play. And when I look at some of the videos and I look at some of the pictures, just as we are sitting here and clapping and singing, they're doing the very same thing in the park. Do you know that? And we offering to the lingam here and they're offering to the lingam in the park. And there is no difference because Lord Shiva is here, there and they know, the members of the Ganesh Utsav Foundation knows that everybody has to be given a chance. They know that we believe in selflessness and not selfishness. They know that everybody joins in the Havan, and they know everybody joins in the Aarti, and they know everything because we do this every week. This is not once a year, but this is every week we do this. And so, again, to all of those out in Palmis Park, I want to give you the maximum blessings this evening. Actually, those who have gone to the park refuse to come back here to the Yagyashala. They prefer the park. I don't know if it's the park they prefer or they prefer to be far from me. I'm not sure. But I want to say commendations to all of you and blessings to all of you this evening. So join with us tomorrow evening as we make a joyful noise unto Bhagwan Shankar, as we glorify Lord Shiva in a very special way, as we do every year. And so we're looking forward to having Mama and Papa join with us for all the prahars tomorrow. We want them to be a part of our worship. You have been absent for 2 days, you cannot be absent tomorrow. Papa, you're not spared. You have plans, Lord Shiva just made a plan and booked you for tomorrow night. So this evening, as we all stand for the Aarti, we dedicate our Aarti to Mama Chain. This is the Auntie Sita. And so we pray to Lord Shiva, may you bless her in a very special way. We dedicate our Aarti to Auntie Savi, and we dedicate our Aarti to the soul of my beloved Uncle Raj and all of those who have died. We pray that may Bhagwan bless their souls in a very special way. And so may the transition for their souls be a peaceful one. We beg of you, O Lord Shiva, listen to our prayer. Listen to our prayer. Shiva ke naasho ki baasi Dori Daru ki Raja Shankar Sankat Harena Shankar Sankat Harena Shiva ke naasho ki baasi Dori Daru ki Raja Shankar O bole Baba Shankar Sankat Harena कैलाशों का अंत न पाया तेरे कैलाशों का अंत न पाया अंत भी अंत तेरे माया ओ बोले बाबा अंत भी अंत तेरे माया शंकर संकट हरना शंकर संकट हरना बेल की पतियन मांग दतूरा बेल की पतियन मांग दतूरा शिव जी के मन को लुभाए ओ बोले बाबा शिव जी के मन को लुभाए शंकर संकट हरना शंकर संकट हरेण कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृति स्वभावं करोमि यत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणायेति समर्पयामि अच्युतं केशवं रामनारायणं कृष्णदामोदरं वासुदेवं हरे श्रीधरं माधवं गोपिका वल्लभं जानकी नायकं रामचन्द्र भजे हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मामृतं गमय मृत्योर्मामृतं गमय त्वमेव माता सविता त्वमेव बन्धु स्वसिका त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देवाद्यो शान्ति अन्तरिक्षं शान्ति पृथिवी शान्ति आपा शान्ति ओषधे शान्ति वनस्पते शान्ति विश्वदेवा शान्ति ब्रह्मा शान्ति सर्वं शान्ति शान्तिरेवा शान्ति सामा शान्तिरिति भवतु उमापति महादेव की जय पवन सुत
हनुमान की जय अयोध्या राम लला की जय वृंदावन कृष्णचंद्र की जय उड़ीसा जगन्नाथ की जय बोलो भाई सब संतन की जय सियापति रामचंद्र की जय चरणम
ओम शांति ओम everybody ओम शांति ओम शांति ओम शांति ये ध्वनि है मंगल ध्वनि है ओम शांति बड़ा ही सुख कर हे मंत्र मनहर ओम शांति ओम शांति ओम उमापति महादेव की सत्य सनातन धर्म की सत्य सनातन धर्म की सत्य सनातन धर्म की I taught you that when we sing the kirtan, you must shake from side to side and dance and never be ashamed to glorify Bhagavan. This evening I want to see if you learn that lesson. I want to see if you are disciplined enough that your mind permits you to be lost in bhakti, devotion this evening. Agar bam 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 bola bajawe dhamaru.
अगर बम 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 बोला बजावे डमरू
अगर बम 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 बोला बजावे डमरू
बजावे डमरू
बजावे डमरू बजावे डमरू
बजावे डमरू बजावे डमरू
बजावे डमरू बजावे डमरू
बजावे डमरू
बजावे डमरू बजावे डमरू बजावे डमरू शिवा बम 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 बोला बजावे डमरू
शिव बम बम बोला बजावे डमरू
बोलो बोलो अयोध्या नाथ सिया पति रामचंद्र की सत्य सनातन धर्म की जय. Until we meet tomorrow evening again, may the peace and the blessings of the Almighty be upon us all. Jai Jai Seetahal.
शिव शंकर महादेव शिव जी सुख का सागर है सुख करता दुख हरता पावन परम
शिव शंकर महादेव, शिव जी सुख का सागर है। उलझन है, बातों में न बस जाना, जिस राह में राम मिले उस राह में बस जाना। एक बार जो शरण में आता, एक बार जो शरण में आता, वो भूलने आत्मा है। सुख करता दुख हरता, पावन परमात्मा है। शिव शंकर महादेव, शिव जी सुख का सागर है। परमात्मा है। सुख करता दुख हरता, पावन परमात्मा है। शिव शंकर महादेव, शिव जी सुख का सागर है। शिव शंकर महादेव, शिव जी सुख का सागर है। सुख का सागर है, सुख का सागर है, सुख का सागर है।
दिमिका दिमिका दिम दिमिका दिमिका दिम नाचे भोलाना
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 मृदंग बोले शिव 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 ओम
मृदंग बोले शिव शिव शिव
मृदंग बोले शिव 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 ओम
मृदंग बोले शिव शिव शिव
डमरू बोले हर 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 ओम
डमरू बोले हर 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 बोल
वीणा बोले साई राम
वीणा बोले साई राम
नाचे भोलाना
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 दिमिका दिमिका दिम दिमिका दिमिका दिम 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 नाचे भोलाना
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 दिमिका दिमिका दिम दिमिका दिमिका दिम नाचे भोलाना
दिमिका दिमिका दिम दिमिका दिमिका दिम नाचे भोलाना
रंग बोले शिव 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 ओम
रंग बोले शिव शिव शिव
रंग बोले शिव 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 ओम
रंग बोले शिव शिव शिव
डमरू बोले हर हर हर
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 वीणा बोले साई राम
वीणा बोले साई राम
नाचे भोलाना
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 दिमिका दिमिका दिम दिमिका दिमिका दिम 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 नाचे भोलाना
जय शिव जय शिव जय शिव शंकर
जय शिव जय शिव
Shiv Jai Shiv Jai Shiv Shankar
जय शिव जय शिव जय शिव शंकर
Har 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 Shiv Jai Shiv Jai Shiv Shankar
जय शिव जय शिव जय शिव शंकर
O Jai Shiv Jai Shiv Jai Shiv Shankar
ओ जय शिव जय शिव जय शिव शंकर
Mahadayalu Param Kripalu
महादयालु परम कृपालु
O Mahadayalu Param Kripalu
महादयालु परम कृपालु गिरिधारानी राखी राशि गिरिधारानी राखी राशि जय शिव जय शिव जय शिव शंकर
Jai Shiv Jai Shiv Jai Shiv Shankar O Jai Shiv Jai Shiv Jai Shiv Shankar Jai Girijapati Deen Dayala
जय गिरिजापति दीन दयाला
O Jai Girijapati Deen Dayala
जय गिरिजापति दीन दयाला हर 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 महादेवा
O Har 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 Har
हर 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 हर
Jai Shiv Jai Shiv Jai Shiv Shankar
जय शिव जय शिव जय शिव शंकर
Jai Shiv Jai Shiv Jai Shiv Shankar
जय शिव जय शिव जय शिव शंकर
O Jai Shiv Jai Shiv Jai Shiv Shankar
ओ जय शिव जय शिव जय शिव शंकर
O Jai Shiv Jai Shiv Jai Shiv Shankar
ओ जय शिव जय शिव जय शिव शंकर
O Jai Shiv Jai Shiv Jai Shiv Shankar
जय शिव जय शिव जय शिव शंकर
O Jai Shiv Jai Shiv Jai Shiv Shankar Umapati Mahadeva Ki Jai
Sankhya Television is not only the first Hindu TV station in Trinidad and Tobago, but Sankhya TV also has the most coverage. You can find Sankhya TV on Facebook by searching for Sankhya Television. There you can view Sankhya TV Facebook Lives for all exclusive programming and all Sankhya TV playlists where you will find previously aired yagnas. By liking and following the Sankhya TV Facebook page, you will be notified every time.
The Bharat Singh Ashram, located at number 17 Suraj Street, Devi, hosts their Mahashivratri Yagna from Saturday 26th to Monday 28th February. Bring your prasad to make offerings to Lord Shiva on Monday 28th February. Officiating is Pandit Lakshmidad Prasad Maharaj, assisted by Pandit Neil R. Maharaj. Hours of prayer